So a lot of people have been asking, how did I manage to manifest this Lamborghini Huracan? And actually, a lot of the principle I used is very similar to all law of attraction principles. And I want to share this with you with a little bit of a story time also. We'll get into it in a moment. When it comes to learning, there's nobody ahead and nobody behind. I don't believe I was born with all the skills. I don't believe I was born confident. But what I do know is that if I decide that I'm going to go in on something, I'm either going to go big or I'm going to go home. You know what I realized only recently is that actually, I didn't only manifest this Lamborghini Huracan like recently. I mean, this one I bought, I think only 2 years ago or something. But actually, I had manifested the capacity, the ability to actually get one of these many years ago, maybe around 10 years ago. But I didn't get one. And I want to explain to you how this all worked and how I actually manifested all of this and how it all happened, you know, with a little bit of a story, because I think if you know exactly what happened along the way, maybe that will help you along your law of attraction journey. The first thing is actually from a very, very young age, I remember watching this movie. I can't remember what the movie was called, but it had Maggie Q in it and she was sitting in a orange Lamborghini. And I remember when I seen it, I said to Dad, I said, oh my God, I said, that's so beautiful. I said, I really want one of those when I grow up. And I remember Dad looking at me and saying, don't be silly. These cost a lot of money, you know, it's not for us. And I remember looking at it and thinking, no, I really want this thing. I really think I can get it. And it was interesting because then I went into, that was a kid with dreams, with goals, right? And it's interesting because when we go through the education system and then we go through this whole adulthood, we get conditioned in a certain way where, hey, you got to be humble. Hey, you can't show off. Hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, you know? And then you kind of feel restricted from it. But anyway, what happened was when I was around 21, 22, I actually met a whole group of really, really, really rich people. And I'm talking about really, really rich because back then I already started my first business when I was 21, a restaurant business. And I could buy myself a new BMW M3 and it was already amazing for me back then. When I met this group of friends, what actually happened was it changed the way I perceived wealth. Because what actually happened was the first time I remember, I actually drove my BMW to meet them for the first time at this party. And I remember a lot of them were driving, one was driving a baby blue Lamborghini, one was driving a Bentley Continental GT, and all of them were driving all these crazy cars. And then I was thinking, oh no, what am I going to do with my car? So I actually parked it down the back alley just to hide it and then go to meet them. And it's interesting because there's this saying that says your network equals your net worth. Or we can look at it in law of attraction as your tribe equals your vibe. And it's interesting because when I started hanging out with these guys, their vibrational frequency, we can talk about this wealth vibrational frequency, started to actually change that of mine. And I didn't even know what was happening back then. In fact, I didn't even know about law of attraction back then, but it was happening. And that's why I think it's very important for me to share the story with you, because maybe then you can start reflecting on your own life and seeing, hey, which are the areas that can be changed to help this? So without even knowing, from a young age, I asked for a Lamborghini. So there was some wealth order that I placed out there. It didn't get it until I was like 21. I decided I wanted to start my business. I didn't relate it to this at all. And then when I met these guys, I didn't relate it to the dream, the goal I had when I was younger at all. Then what happened was, I remember around 6 months of being with them. It was a weird, weird situation because I manifested myself being in a business, an export business. And I remember it was actually Mum one day when I was in my teenage years said to me, hey, you should do something like maybe steel or something, because a lot of people who do steel make a lot of money. And it was so weird because I didn't link that either. It went into the subconscious mind. Again, what people say around you affect the way you think, then affect your reality, right? On the subconscious level. And so what actually happened was when I was 24, I started a steel business. And that pulled in a lot of money. I'm talking about like a $15 million contract. And as a result of that, I bought myself my first Aston Martin, right? It's an Aston Martin Vantage. It was around 120,000 at the time. Now, this is the thing. I could have actually bought the Lamborghini. But the interesting thing was this, I had a blockage in my mind, and I didn't even know what was going on at that time. Is because in my head, I was weighing up. So I was like, okay, I've got a lot of money now. What shall I do? And then I was like, oh, Lamborghini. And I thought Lamborghini. And the moment I said it, I remember one of my friends said, oh, that's a show-off car. You know, why would you want a show-off car? I was affected by their opinion. And I decided, yeah, actually, that's right. Yeah, I can't be a show-off. I'm not a show-off, you know. No. Then I bought myself an Aston Martin. I know some of you will be thinking that's still show-off. But in my reality, I was thinking, yeah, Aston Martin is just, you know, rich person car, but not too show off, not too flashy. And I bought it in gray, in a dark gray, because I was thinking, okay, that's more low key and people won't be able to, you know, but obviously it's Aston Martin. It's still got a lot of head turns, right? But anyway, in my head, I was justifying this to try and be humble and try not to show off. And it's interesting because that was already like 10 years ago now. And I'm thinking actually, this Lamborghini I manifested way long time ago. So if I was to break it down, how I actually manifested this, it actually come from a few things. Number one was what I said before, tribe equals your vibe. So you got to change your network. When you're surrounded by this vibrational frequency of people of wealth, then it's highly likely that you will start becoming that vibration. Number two, is very important to actually visualize and see yourself and feel the emotion, because I did. From a young age, I was so excited to see the Lamborghini, right? I was so happy to see it. Number three, you got to have a strong purpose, a strong why, a strong drive to why you do what you do. Because in fact, I had to take a lot of action to actually do this, because I built a lot of businesses and it took a lot of hard work. But I did it very quickly because the drive was there. And let me tell you something, and this is a little bit personal, but in my reality, the reason why I work so hard, and when my friends were sleeping or partying and I was working hard making money, not because I love money back then, I didn't think about that. The reason it was because things were happening at home and I felt like I left home and I felt like I needed to make money to look after my mom. And that's the reality. So something you got to do for yourself is you got to find yourself the why. When you find yourself the why behind why you do what you do, that's going to be the drive. That's the fuel that will keep you going when other people are sleeping and you're still working hard. Because when you apply energy to something, the more energy, the more it expands. And finally, the last thing, I really legitimately did this without even knowing, is I just forgot it. I forgot I had this dream, this goal on the back burner. So this goes back to the book that I wrote where I said, set it and forget it. Those of you who have not read the book yet, make sure to download it. It's free for all. You should read it. Very powerful book. The process of setting that intention and literally forgetting it, and then many months later, weeks later, years later, suddenly it just appears and you're like, huh? How did I get this? Finally, maybe just to share a little something with you guys. Actually, there's a few things with this Lamborghini. Number one, there is a big part of it that I bought because of Facebook ads and YouTube clicks and things like that. I want to confess that, because the reality, and people say, oh, what a show off. I say, and sometimes I think, if I don't show this orange bright car, actually, maybe out of the 46 million clicks that I've got on my videos so far, maybe even 1 million of the clicks have been because the car was in the background. And if that is what makes people click, and to get the message of love and positivity out there, so be it, And at the end of the day, I don't drive this much. I've kept this in here also, and I much prefer sitting in the Toyota Prius. That's my recommendation if you guys want a daily car. If you want an ornament for the background, It looks pretty neat, huh? Bella thinks so anyway. Guys, so that's it from this week. Hope this helped you and clarify some things for you. Please do hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Also, comment below. Let us know your thoughts, your views on all this, and maybe your experiences too. It might help other people. And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification button next to it. That's that little bell sign, by the way, because this year I'm dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But now we're going to roll out into asana practice. You ready for this? Let's do it. Guys, welcome to another Yogi Lambo challenge. Those of you who haven't joined the challenge yet, make sure to practice these asanas and then post it on Instagram or Facebook. We'll find it and feature one every week.
Yogi Lambo challenge.
And this week we are going to feature Francesco, yeah? Francesco, for the amazing flip you were doing. Just a little comment on it though. When you flip, we flip into chaturanga, so lower plank, not the downward dog position. So we practice perfecting that flip, that's all. But otherwise, very beautiful. And then this week, we're going to go on to a different asana, and I want you guys to practice this. It's a very beautiful one. So what we are going to do, okay, it's like this. I'm going to show sideways, then I'm going to show you up front so you can see, okay? So first of all, when we go from downward dog, okay, we can go, feet are together, heels are down, then we jump with right foot on. Right foot will be outside, left foot will be inside, okay? So that's the first jump you need to do. So once you're in that jump, your palms are down. Then what you will do, you will take your left foot and you will place it outwards on the right side, okay? So it crosses over. Then what you will do is you will lean your weight across onto, lean your weight forward so that you can cross your feet and you are off the ground. And then you can hold, okay? So this is this week's asana. You can see off the ground. Then you can get more height, you can move around, okay? So that's the first part of this week's asana practice. Next week, I'll show you how to slowly transition out of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful movement. And I think that's it. So if you guys want to join the challenge, all you do is make sure to post your videos either on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe even in our Creator Circle group. And once you posted it, make sure to use the tag Yogi Lambo Challenge. And every week, we'll pick out one person to feature on the channel. Other than that, I think I'm done. You guys check out the other videos, and I'll see you guys next week or tomorrow for another video. Bye for now. Namaste.